Hi, are you struggling with getting your prospects to actually buy? Well, in this lesson, we're learning all about how to use sizzle reels to increase revenues. So that way you can sell more online courses, communities, and coaching services. Hi, I'm Angel from RT Course Experts, and we help creative online course teachers with their tech. In this lesson, we're learning all about using sizzle reels to increase revenues and sales. We're going to go over what is it, why use it, how to use it. We'll go over an example about how to set up, and then we'll go over an example about the different kinds of content you can use on your sizzle reels. Then we'll summarize our top tips. First of all, what is a sizzle reel? It's a collection of carefully curated testimonials used to give buyers confidence in your service. So it's basically an exciting video that you put together with real customers talking about how your service has helped them. And you combine them in such a way that after a minute or two, your prospects feel really good and they build trust. Why use sizzle reels? Well, they increase the sales of your service by showing how students have benefited and achieved goals in the past. So a prospect might be on your webpage, might be on your course, your community, your coaching, etc. They're on the edge. So they've read your sales page, they know it's for them, but they're still on the edge. A sizzle reel is like a 2-minute video, and it goes through a bunch of prior customers, and it shows how they have benefited. They had a problem, they learned some new tricks, and now they can achieve their goals. So you're gonna put that together. By the time they're done with that video, they should be primed and ready to buy so that they can feel confidence, and it's not just some internet guy or girl that's selling them stuff, but they could see that there's real stuff there. It's more than text testimonials. It's really just a motivational proof that you do what you say you will do for your customers. Let's go into a how-to guide for using sizzle reels. First of all, you should combine several powerful testimonials into one. A few of these testimonials you're going to edit, you're going to pick and choose, you're going to combine them into kind of a montage, a snowball, if you will, from beginning to more and more powerful. You're going to use several different testimonials, and it's going to snowball into a really powerful and compelling case for you, for prospects to use your services. Maybe it even ends up being 2, 3, even 5 or 7 minutes. You're going to create a video that's maybe 2 to 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes being ideal, where it's going to build up and it's going to go through many different prior customers from all sorts of different angles. The actual clips can be ad hoc feedback, almost like a quick verbal testimonial, or they can actually be a case study where you ask these customers, hey, what was your situation before? And after you took my course, what did you learn? And what new skills did you learn? And then finally, where are you now? What have you been able to accomplish now that you've taken this course? That's kind of a case study where you do the before, what they learned, and then after in their current state. It's going to be really powerful. You can use your clips to grab very little sound bites, maybe 15 seconds here, 30 seconds there, or you can build a true case study where prior customers come on for 30, 45 seconds and highlight either their journey or some part of their journey, like what they learned and after. Now, once you have this video, I want you to consider adding an intro. That could be you as the lead teacher, or it could be branding, or it could be a picture or video of what your service is. I recommend you add some background music, nothing too powerful that takes away from what they're saying, but just kind of a build-up of music from the beginning up and then down as you wrap up the sizzle reel. You're going to have transitions in between, maybe fade to black, and then black to the next video. You might just have these jump scenes where you're just quickly going through a bunch of prior customers. And nevertheless, you should think about your transitions from customer to customer as you go from the intro into your customers and then from your customers to wrap up. You should have captions in case they're speaking quickly, or maybe the potential future students aren't fully aware of the new words that they're going to learn in your community or course. You're going to want to call those out because they might not know what these more advanced students are talking about. Having those captions there, subtitles, captions, etc. You're going to have an outro, which is some sort of call to action. They saw all the stuff, they're ready to buy, just tell them what to do. Like, call us now, or buy now, or use our coupon to start right away, or our classes are starting in January. Whatever it is, but have that outro that transitions, that peak excitement for your service and converts it and transitions them to that call to action that you need to get that sale. Finally, don't forget branding, whether it's intro and outro. You might have your brand name, you might have your logo. Throughout the entire sizzle reel on the bottom right, you might have your logo there or your brand name. Have all that stuff. Remember, you're going to take these things and you might put them in a bunch of places like YouTube, or you might share them, or somebody else might stumble upon your sizzle reel. So you want to have your branding there so it's very clear. That way, no matter how they find your sizzle reel, they can contact you, they can learn more. Once you're going over the individual prior customers, you can overlay some information about them. Could be their name. You don't want to reveal everything. Maybe their last name is just an initial, or their first name. It might make sense if you're teaching a certain thing to show the ages of these customers or show their situation. You may also want to show their location if that matters, just to let your prospects know that you're supporting remote students, if that's what you do, in different time zones. Letting them know about those kinds of things might just have a subtle hint. Again, it's just piling on all these different. Finally, you can overlay some text next to each customer about their goals. Was trying to get ready for a show, was trying to start an art business, was trying to get switching careers from music editing to music production. Those goals for those prior customers could be really useful, and they help set the context. Maybe the video clip for that particular customer doesn't have to be 60 seconds. It could be 30 because you've overlaid some context. And then that way you keep the pace going. The prospects that are watching this video can quickly get oriented. Here's this person, here's their situation, and then let me listen. Oh, wow. All right, yeah, that's sort of like me. That's what I want to do. So again, just using the overlay text combined with the perfect audio and video clips could really be a very powerful way to quickly allow your prospects to sample all of your prior success. You're also going to want to standardize on your feedback tool. For example, I like Video Ask. You could use Zoom, you could use Loom. There's a wide range of testimonial tools if you just Google them, and you'll see all sorts of different pricing and capabilities. As part of that, you're going to also want to have a preferred orientation, whether you're going to have most of your videos be horizontal landscape or vertical portrait, and even questions. You don't want to just kind of open it up and say, tell us about your course. That's just too open, and they'll just say all sorts of things. You can go ahead and give them some good prompts so that they can respond back in a standardized way. Then when you're combining the different customer testimonials, you'll have some similar approaches and some similar answers, and it'll allow you to build a story. Even standardizing from an AV point of view, whether you're zoomed into the face or it's a wide shot, or even the volume, whether they're indoors or outdoors, all these sort of things. And some of these things you might be able to do with your AV tools like Premiere or Audacity, etc. Just think about that as you're receiving these testimonials. Don't forget that people are recording these testimonials with different tools, different apps. Some people have their desktop computer or their laptop, or they do it in a cafeteria. So you want to give them some guidance as to, hey, find a quiet spot, try not to have a window behind you, and you could prompt them with some of the handful of questions that you're hoping to receive from your prior customers. Once you have this sizzle reel created, you're gonna have to put it somewhere. You might have to host it on Wistia or Vimeo, and those are cool because they don't really provide any extra advertising. And at the end of the video, you're in control. You can kind of say what happens. YouTube is free, but at the end of the video might end up showing other content. You might have to play with the privacy settings there. You could even host it on your website, but you're talking about potentially a gigabyte or more of content. That might blow your hosting plan. Website files, like WordPress files, that's not exactly the same as kind of a streaming server that's made for video. Once you have your sizzle reel created, you're going to want to share it. You might share it on the specific sales page of that e-learning product, right? That course, that community, that coaching service. You're going to want to also maybe put it on your website that's not on your Kajabi or your Teachable. You might also post it on your social media. You might also take clips of your sizzle reel, like shorter 60-second versions, and post those on social media like TikTok or Shorts. And then even on your communities, you may want to share it on your communities if you have different chat rooms, or maybe you have a Facebook group. You can certainly share there and let people comment. You could post a link on how to learn more. Finally, make it like a movie trailer. Make it exciting. Make it honest. Have multiple points of view and motivating. So when they're watching this, they're getting excited. They're already on the edge. They're watching this thing and they're like, yeah, that's me. Oh my gosh, that's what I want to do. Yeah, that's my problem, right? You want to build that up, and finally, you're going to direct them to buy or do the next step, either buy or contact you for the next step. Those are some tips on how to create a sizzle reel to help you increase your revenues. Let's go into an example about some of the considerations you're going to make as you're choosing actual content for your sizzle reels. So there's two big types. So there's two main types of content. You can just go about this as getting testimonial quotes where you're just like, hey, tell us about your experience, or tell us about what you liked about our course or our community. That's fine. Then you have the use case. Then you have the case study approach, where you're basically guiding them. Tell us where you were before, what were some of your problems. Tell us about what you learned and what new tools and techniques you learned from this. Finally, hey, where are you now? What's going on? How is your world different now that you've learned these things? And what new breakthroughs and achievements have you accomplished? You got these kind of testimonial quotes, and you have these case study approach. Let's just kind of go over a couple of them. From just the quotes point of view, great. They're short, they're positive little snippets. You can quickly go through a bunch of customers. You're going to have multiple points of view. These quotes go great with a nice positive music soundtrack in the background. Once you get these quotes, you can extract the text and use them in other places where you might have traditional quotes on your website or on your sales page. So you can leverage not only the video quote, but also the text version of it. That's pretty cool. As far as the case studies go, you can really get into a before, change, and after story. So you can hear journey, and that could be really powerful for future prospects. Case studies are great for higher end services, for courses or communities that are higher commitment, not only in money, but also in time. And it's good for prospects to see similar people. And they might not be able to know right away with just a quick quote, but with a case study and the overlay, they might really be able to say, oh wow, that's me, that's my situation, just because they were able to hear enough and see enough of that prospect, of that prior customer. Don't forget, you're going to be able to show graphics or video while they're talking. So as that prior customers telling about their challenge, you could potentially switch and have a different, maybe footage of somebody sewing or designing or crafting. So you could show their particular content or general content, or maybe even your content that you're teaching for those topics while they're talking about some of the stuff that they've learned. To get those case studies, you could record from videos, and there's tools like Video Ask, or you can get on a Zoom and talk to them and ask them questions, or you could even interview your prior customers, and from there you're extracting segments that they're raving about what you've done. Now let's go over some of the bad things. So with testimonial quotes, look, they're not going to go deep. There's these little 15-second blurbs. So that might be cool, but in some cases that might not be enough. And also you're going to be editing. You're going to be chopping up these different little quotes. Some people might get suspicious. Like, what was it that they removed? They only shared 10 seconds, but did they say other negative things that was removed? So that's a little tricky with the shorter quotes. You're going to want to avoid showing the same person twice. If you have these quotes, you're going to want to wait before you build out your sizzle reel. Go ahead and collect up 5 or 10 different prior customers. As you're showing these little testimonial quotes, you're going to want to do at least 15 seconds per, so that way they can kind of get a context, they can hear a little bit, not just hear a customer say 3 words. You're going to want to hear them say something like one good sentence or 2 or 3 sentences. It doesn't have to be a full case study. One of the bad things with testimonial quotes is that you may trim them really short. So try to have at least 15 seconds per customer, maybe 1 or 2 sentences. Now, there are other problems with case studies. You may need to edit to shorten these case studies. You may end up with 3 minutes per customer. So that's going to blow your sizzle reel. You got to get those case studies down to 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute. So you're going to want to do some heavy editing there to get the best nuggets for your prior customers. Since you have these longer segments of, let's just say, 30 to 45 seconds, it's going to be slightly harder for you to weave a story. Whereas when you have testimonial quotes, you can organize a bunch of them in a certain way to tell a story. With the case studies, they individually tell a story, but it's harder to connect them all. I recommend something that could go wrong with your case studies are not having standard questions. So you really want to make sure that those standard questions are there so that you can get the main point out of each case study, as well as to build that common theme so that all your different case studies somehow are connected, even though they're slightly from different angles. Finally, with the case studies, you're going to want to pick and choose your best ones. You don't want to have bad lighting or bad audio. This is like a 3 to 5 minute clip where we're using case studies. If that first one or that second one has bad audio, weird lighting, you can't see the person, they might just click away. They might just move on. Remember, we're in this age where people are just scrolling, right? We're in that new TikTok world. If you're gonna make them watch a sizzle reel, it's gotta be exciting. There can't be a reason for your future prospects to click away or to scroll. They have to really be intently watching. The music has to be there. The content has to keep moving, even with overlay text. I know you might be desperate at first if you don't have enough prior customers. Go ahead and wait, keep collecting them. By the way, once you do make a sizzle reel, there's no reason why you couldn't update it once a year or something like that as you get a handful of even more awesome customers. No reason why you couldn't update your sizzle reel once or twice a year as you get even better customers with better testimonials. So if you want to level up, collect about 10 or more testimonials, use guided questions, and then get creative. Your first sizzle reel may be just a bunch of quotes. Later on, as you improve your process and maybe you've started to develop case studies, you can go ahead and assemble those as well. Let's summarize. Here are the top things you need to know. Sizzle reels increase sales. You can use ad hoc feedback like quotes or use a case study approach. Add that music, think about which are the 3 to 5 ideal customers that you want to highlight. Consider overlay text to add contacts and just keep it very interactive. They're hearing, they're seeing, you got the overlay text, you got the music, keep it interactive. And so that way, try to standardize your feedback so that every single customer is not in a different camera, location, questions. Try to standardize. Host your video on a low latency video service provider like a Wistia, Vimeo, or YouTube. Then once you have that sizzle reel, not just on your sales page, share it in other places, on any of your channels where you're trying to reach your clients. Then once you have that sizzle reel, share it widely on all your channels, anywhere where you might have prospects that might be able to convert into future customers. Finally, make it exciting, like a movie trailer. In 2 to 4 minutes, highlight happy prior customers that are excited, have achieved results, have gotten to new places. Don't forget to end with a nice call to action. Click here to learn more. Definitely end with a call to action. So now you're a lot smarter on creating sizzle reels to increase the sales of your online courses, your communities, and your coaching websites. To learn more, check out the info and links in the notes. If you're loving this stuff, subscribe to keep leveling up your creative business. And if you need any tech help with your courses, community, or teacher website, visit www.rtcourseexperts.com. Thanks for hanging out. Let's stay in touch.